Hi there, friends. This is Weather Watchers Worldwide, of course, with meteorologist Lee Southwick.
Hi.
How you doing, Lee?
I'm glad that you're back, Robert, because Weather Watchers Worldwide is not very worldwide without you.
I try.
I love that you really get us a good worldwide view. So
we got some global perspective. We're going to look at that because we got a lot of cold air we're talking about today. But then at the same time, we're also tracking some tropical activity.
Not locally.
Not locally. Not in the Atlantic. But
remember, this is worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And you know, that's kind of the whole goal, is to put in perspective, because, you know, we'll have people say, like, how about that global warming? Because it's pretty cold out there. But then at the same time, there's a full-on hurricane equivalent hitting other parts of the world. And you're like, well, you know, it all depends on where you are. There's extremes, and that's what we try to talk about here.
Climate change. Like, the climate is changing. You know, that's what it...
And we got some big impacts.
Big extremes, big swings,
so,
back and forth.
Well, the cold side of things. You know, let's talk about the snow and cold recap. We'll talk about the tropics, and in the forecast, we're going to talk about the weekend outlook.
Yeah,
but
you went north. You had such a fun stream on Sunday.
It was a long, busy stream. It was, but it was a lot. Like, you could see the behind the scenes of 2.5 hours of us trying to make decisions on where to go and try to find the snow. And you might be thinking, especially if you're up north, just drive north, you'll find the snow. But it was this very narrow band that we wanted to get into as close to Jacksonville as possible, because we didn't want to go too far. Anyways, I'll show you the video here, Lee. It was good. This is out of Sylvester, Georgia, though, by the way.
Okay, so Sylvester that was the line, right?
That was about where it was. Of course, the Protector, she broke into the first time ever in snow.
Awesome, good shot there. Look at that.
Yeah, got a little on the back of the truck there. It's she's a hurricane truck getting out there, but got into it. And this is actually from our live stream, the shot there in Sylvester, Georgia. I do want to note, though, you know, there was also some snow tourists. I'd had one person comment on our stream that said, like, oh, I'm from Jacksonville and I'm up here.
Oh, cool.
And looking for the snow.
Snow tourism is cool, as long as everyone went safely ahead of time before you're driving in conditions like this.
Yes, and
oh, no.
Actually I shared this video on my social, and you could hear our sound, and I talked to the gentleman here who skidded off into those trees there, and he said, I don't know how to drive in this.
Yeah, I mean, as most of us don't, especially if we grew up here, no. So, wow, I'm glad you pulled over and made sure he was okay.
Yeah, that's him right there, and he said he's perfectly fine. At first, we actually thought that's kind of smoke out of the exhaust there. We thought that was fire coming out of it.
Oh, goodness.
So we turned around, did a loop, came back, and checked on him. And he said, no, that's just the exhaust. I'm good. I'm just waiting on a tow truck. We're like, all right.
And then that's a beautiful picture. Look at that. That could be a postcard.
The thing was, that was also not just where the snow was, but it was also timing, because that was only on the ground for like 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then once the sun comes out, boom, it was gone.
But you did, I remember watching your interview that you did with people. Were they from the Gainesville area?
Yes.
And that was fun because she was how old was she?
There was one lady. She was her 41st birthday.
Oh, wow!
And she said, "Oh, this is my mom. It's her 41st birthday, and she's never seen snow." And she's like,
"That's so cool! I'm so glad they made the trip up there, even if it was only for 30 minutes that they saw it."
Oh,
she saw it,
and that was one of the people. Like, we were pulled over, and I was standing there, and I was like, "It's snowing! Yes, we got it!" And then they pulled in right behind us, and they got the cameras out, and they were taking videos. And
they were also like, "It's snowing! Yes, we got it!"
And it was absolutely perfect. And we found it though out there in Waycross area. But yeah, some snow tourists up there. Hopefully everybody stayed safe, stayed warm with it, and moved on. I know a lot of people in the Waycross area and closer to Jacksonville were hoping for it.
Yeah.
And I could tell you just from experience, Lee, it had that look. Where you could tell, like, it was probably snowing like 1,000 or 2,000 feet above us.
Just too warm at the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Bummer.
Yeah, at least, I mean, it could have been cold at the surface and a warm mid-layer, and then we would have been talking about icing, but that was not the case.
We will be talking about icing, not for us, but I'm sure you all who are tuning in, you've heard. I mean, Lou and I talked about it extensively yesterday, but big icing event to our north. We do not recommend going and chasing that. You do not want to be stuck in that.
That's one where it's just not fun. But speaking of snow, I do want to show you some video out of the Buffalo area as well here.
Okay.
Because this is not ice, but this is from this past weekend. Orchard Park, where the Bills actually play. How about that?
I'm going to bring up the Bills. So.
Right. Well, they're out of the playoffs as well, so, But, yeah, there you go. That's Orchard Park. That's classic driving. One thing you see around here, you don't see around here, that you see like in Florida, is low cars, like sport cars. Or even
you don't see them here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
Like I drive a Mini Cooper, would not survive here.
Oh my goodness! Woo! Look at that.
This is the infrastructure we always talk about, though. Like they're built for it. That is.
Yep.
That is very niche tools.
Look at that. Okay, that Tesla's trying to get through it.
All right. You do you, Tesla. It's a little lifted.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not.
Oh my gosh!
Back up.
Watch out! So we joke, but I'm scared.
Yeah, the way the angle, we were like, oh wow, look at all. Wipe off your back windshield.
Yeah. So that is against the law, by the way, not to wipe it off. Yeah, you have to, because then you're just creating a blizzard for the person behind you, and you kind of can't see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to show you the other video out of this area, though.
Okay, so still same area.
Same area still. This is it's called a Little Free Sled Library.
I love that. Like the Little Free Libraries, but not books.
Yeah.
Physical activity. Okay. I'll take it. Take it all.
I love it.
That is so fun.
It's you just you put in you take a sled, go a little sledding in a local park there out here in Buffalo, and then you put it back when you're done. And
that's what I would need, because I don't own a sled, so if I'm visiting, that would be so wonderful.
We were talking about how in Florida we need to do this for like boogie boards.
We do. We really do. That would be perfect for anyone visiting, all of our tourists that come and they want to check out our waves. Let's get that started. Little Free Boogie Board Library.
Yeah, and just take it, use it, respect, don't leave it on the beach, put it back where you got it. And that would be so cool. And I just love this concept. It's super fun.
Yeah, anything to get out there and get active and enjoy that type of weather. You enjoy the snow there, enjoy the waves here. I love it. A
shout out to WGRZ. I seen their flag right there. They were talking to somebody that's one of her sister channel stations up there in Buffalo who are shooting some of this footage. So let's go to a break because when we come back, I do want to change the topic completely here and talk about some global tropical activity, Lee.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Why do we come here? To reach for new heights, to dive to new depths. You can call it a team, even a community. That connection with others. We all deserve that. So why come here? This is why.
Swing into luxury, where golf and community come home. Located in St. John's, Florida, Stillwater is a premier 55-plus active adult community where golf is in your backyard. This bundled golf course community features a championship 18-hole course, top tracer practice facility, and resort-style amenities. Whether perfecting your swing or connecting with neighbors, Stillwater offers the perfect blend of relaxation and recreation. Live where every day feels like a getaway.
Maybe you're new to all this streaming, OTT, on-demand stuff. You need a trusted news and weather source, and we've got you with First Coast News Plus.
That's some pretty serious cold.
Get your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts.
Heavy law enforcement presence.
Extended breaking news coverage.
And that breaking news right now out of Camden County, Georgia.
And exclusive specials, all on your schedule. So download First Coast News Plus and start watching for free.
Welcome back. So one thing I do want to note, if you are tuning in, and we're going to talk about the tropics real quick here. But if you are tuning in for some ice storm coverage here, and actually you throw up this graphic, we are going to talk about this in just a minute because this is going to look messy this coming weekend.
We know if you have some travel plans this weekend, you're probably tuning in to get some updates on that. So we will get to that. Don't worry. We're going to quickly just talk tropics first. Right?
Yeah, because this is Weather Watchers Worldwide, and we always try to touch in on what's happening around the world. First, starting off with the Western Pacific. This is still Northern Hemisphere here, Lee.
Okay.
And their season doesn't really end. They had actually one storm. It was Ada off the East Coast. It's that smaller circle, sheared apart because of cold, dry air. Who would have thought? And then there's another area just east of that, which, could become named, but probably just going to be sheared apart because of cold, dry air. But you can kind of see it on the bottom of the screen.
Still quite a rainmaker, it looks like.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be a rainmaker for a good portion of the central and southern Philippines.
Do you know how many? Flooding. So you know how many inches of rain expected?
Millimeters, 200 to 300. So that would be 10 to 15 inches. I mean, it's going to be a good amount. Good amount.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's definitely flooding.
Then you got this other storm out here, which that island on the right side of the circle, did you know that is if you go there, is one of the only places on Earth where you still pay with francs.
With what?
France money.
Oh, I was like, what type of animal?
Nah, you pay, yeah, right.
I thought you said you play with, and I was like,
Europe, you pay with euros. They use European money, but this is New Caledonia, which is a French territory, but they don't use euros.
That is really fascinating.
There, you're going to win on trivia night.
Cool, perfect.
So this
Not
is
a bird, it's cash.
It does sound like a bird.
I really thought you were about a bird. I was like, what?
Well, it is New Caledonia there. They got a tropical cyclone off of their coast. It's more of the equivalent of a tropical storm. Okay. Just kicking on by Nomea, the capital there. I'm going to be looking at some kind of messy conditions over the next 24 hours.
45 mile per hour winds I see.
Yeah.
Moving southeast at 29. That's pretty fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's already kind of the equivalent of starting to go extra tropical out there.
Okay.
And it's going to kick out and maybe get tied up with some southern ocean lows and just kind of move along. Something New Zealand might want to watch in kind of the long range.
Okay.
And then off the northwest coast of Australia, we have another cyclone. Now, this is starting to develop. You can see it just south of Indonesia there. Going to be a big rainmaker for the Gold Coast. Do you know why it's called? Out there. See the far northern coast there? And just west of Darwin, they're looking at, 8 to 12 inches of rainfall in spots.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a quick look at the tropics around the globe. What we got going on out there today.
Still, tropics are always happening, but not here locally, which is good. But we will always keep an eye on the tropics. Mm-hmm. You know what? Looking at the sunrise this morning, seemed pretty tropical out there with some of those sunrises. So we had to keep saying all morning on GMJ, beautiful sunrise. You want to get outside and see it, but you have to bundle up. It looks beautiful, but it is cold out there. So this one set in by Bob. I loved how the colors reflected on the clouds. I kept saying sunrise alert, please go take your photos. This one that Andrea posted, she literally said tropical sunrise this morning, and it does look so warm and tropical and inviting, and I used it as a great tease to the warm up that we're going to have before that system moves through, brings us our cold front and our cool down next week, but that same system is the one that's going to bring all of that.
Do you think
ice.
she jumped into the pool there?
That would be a polar plunge.
That would be a solid
I think
polar
because
plunge.
she was talking about tropical, so she was probably like, nope, I feel warm and cozy in the house.
She is outside of the pool. Mm-hmm. All right, so, let's talk about this storm. We got about 10, 12 minutes left on this stream, so let's get into it. Plenty to talk about. Of course, not tropical. We're going to get back to some polar weather here. Now, to clear things up, right off the bat, and if you are watching, of course, most of you are watching here from Jacksonville, the First Coast, are we going to get ice, snow, any of that here in Jacksonville?
Oh, you're asking me? Okay,
yes.
Sorry. I was answering, I guess, anyway.
You were answering it. You were giving me that solid,
No. Nope. We are similar to the event that you just went to up in Waycross. Mm-hmm. Surface will be way too warm, I think, in Southeast Georgia. Now, it's not impossible, but I think if there was any sort of ice event, it would have to be our far northern areas in Southeast Georgia. And right now, it really does not look like it's happening. In fact, models this morning, Robert, came in a lot warmer, that system more to the north. It looks like this is an update, kind of brought it back south a little bit, because as of this morning, it put that ice line right near Atlanta. Now it looks like it's fully covering it. So that's why they're still going to fluctuate and go back and forth. But really, truly, as of right now, I think it's just rain for us.
And that is going to fluctuate mainly. I'm trying to find the graphic that shows the layers here. I wonder if I have it. Because it's going to fluctuate not only because of the surface temperature, but also because of the thickness of kind of that warm layer in the middle here. So, even if it changes by 100 or 200 feet, that changes your chance of maybe getting ice versus pure rain versus sleet. It's what makes this type of forecasting. We've seen this almost a year ago to the day last year, where Folkestone got like a good solid piece of ice here in that snowstorm, and Waycross got pure snow.
Right.
And it wasn't just because of the temperature, it was because of where that kind of overrunning was taking place there. So that is something we're going to really want to watch out for. So where is the guidance at least kind of showing it at this point? This is kind of it. Now, of course, this isn't some areas where you're in the ice. You also may get snow. But what worries me here, Lee, is this wide swath of ice across many, not only metros, but major travel hubs out here.
The airport hubs. Dallas, Atlanta, Charlotte, even into Nashville, Washington, D.C., and then New York City, just the snow, but still. And this is not all in one day. This is over the weekend. So Dallas starts Friday, New York City, Sunday. But just impact after impact is just going to hit airport after airport. And since these are such big hubs, we will likely feel the impacts here at JAX because it's going to impact weather all over the country, if not the world, because you have international flights out of Dallas and Atlanta and Charlotte and all those places. New York, of course.
And it's not the snow for them. It really is, yes. Because once you get that ice starting to stick on planes, like a lot of these places like Atlanta, Charlotte, they don't have sustained de-icer equipment. On top of that, your plane is grounded. And on top of that, getting people, everything, the infrastructure to the airport, it's going to be impacted. It is a totally different beast from snow, which you're seeing right here. Which on the snow side of things, Lexington, for example, here, this particular model showing 18 to 24 inches in Lexington. That's absurd.
And that whole Oklahoma City through Lexington towards Philly, not quite making it there, but it's still, I mean, New York City too, it doesn't even highlight as much, but still that's a significant amount of snow that they are expecting in New York. It's just, and this is just the snow. I will say the ice that we're looking at now, that is more impactful. Ice is more.
100%.
And so, like, for instance, last January, I actually flew through Dallas in a snowstorm, not the one that was a year ago today, but the one that was earlier in January.
Yeah.
And Dallas got my flight out. Despite the snow coming down, it was really cool to this Floridian. It was like my face was pressed against the window, like, look at all that snow. Even though we were sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours, I was just amazed with the outside world. But they got us up and out. If there's ice, it's not happening, Robert.
No.
Everything. And I do know our sister station in Dallas, already talking about how American Airlines is already prepping ahead of time, as they should. I mean, you got your big hub in Dallas, and then they got a big hub in Charlotte, which will also be impacted. But ICE is going to completely shut operations down. ICE is also so dangerous, and this is why we say we don't want you to be like a snow ice tourist and go north, because power outages, so then you're just sitting in the cold. You don't have a way to warm up. You have the slick roads. The ice is heavy. Tree branches are coming down on the roads. It's just a mess.
I mean, I grew up, as some people might know, outside of Buffalo, and like snow capital of the United States. You know, that entire area, Western New York, just because of the lake effect. And snow always just like, okay, whatever, 2-3 feet of snow, whatever, we can handle it. But in half an inch of ice, that's when, like, I remember when I was like young, we had one ice storm that knocked the power out for about a week and a half. And then on top of that, it's cold. So, you know, if you have an electric heater, And this was similar to what happened in Texas, remember, a few years ago.
Oh gosh, that was
right?
awful.
And the entire state went out, but it was an ice storm that had a big issue there.
So there's many different ways ice storms can be life-threatening, and why everyone's talking about this so much, because the power goes out, you don't have an adequate way to stay warm, you're concerned about people actually staying warm enough and healthy enough. On top of that, you will see huge car pileups on interstates because it gets so slick. Like the second that freezing rain starts hitting, you get all of those cars sliding, and it can get really scary out there on the roads.
And not just, not just that, but also like how far south this is. It will be hitting in areas where, and no offense, some people don't know how to drive in this. And
huge metro areas that so many millions don't know how to drive.
And it's not just the infrastructure, like they don't have the salt on the road too, but a lot of people just don't, like here in Jacksonville, there is a tendency to aggressively stop or follow close behind people. And if you are even remotely in an ice situation, you give people space and you slow down slowly. And it's a totally different mentality of driving and this type of stuff. So I think there's going to be big impacts with it.
That just reminded me, quick story time. So my first job was in Montgomery, Alabama, and we were watching out for the possibility of an ice event there too, some freezing rain. And I was scheduled to work, but come in during it. And I was like, I do not know how to drive in ice. Like, can I please sleep here at the station? We worked it out. But I remember my chief telling me, and I need you to back this up since you have experience. He's like, if you're driving in ice, this is what you do. When you're in the car, you pretend like you have a huge gallon of your grandma's sweet tea.
There you go.
Open on the dash.
Yes.
And you cannot let it spill. Her Sunday brunch after church will be ruined.
That's such an Alabama thing. I love it. I love it.
South, and I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, the sweet tea cannot spill. So he was
they say that on TV, everybody's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, just pretend it's sitting there on the dash and you have to drive so slowly and carefully to not let a drop spill. And I was like, okay, got it.
I like it.
So that is for us Southerners, how we have to think about driving in ice.
Just slow down. You'll get to where you need to get, but if you crash on the way there, you're not going to get there. I think that's simple as it gets. You just got to be careful out there. And as mentioned, this is a further towards the north issue. Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Jacksonville were just way too warm. But we will eventually kind of see this colder air spilling behind it.
Yeah, so the front now, by the way, I'm just going to call this out too in the stream. I mentioned it all morning, but for the past several days, we had 50s on Sunday. I bumped it up into the 60s today. So the thing that I think changed is we're first going to have this warm front lift north over our area. So we are going to warm up. And then that cold front doesn't look like it's going to arrive until later Sunday. So while yesterday and the day before, everything looked like 50s, today I was like, I think we're really going to warm up. And so I moved us into the 60s. And Robert, some models this morning were trying to go 70, 71.
I saw that.
Yeah, so some were really, because warm front, and then the cold front doesn't arrive to cool us down. So I did move us into the 60s, and then I have the cold air moving in on Monday. So that front's going to move through Sunday night into Monday morning, some lingering rain showers on Monday morning, and then the cooler air moves in, the colder air, I should say, because we could be freezing again by Tuesday morning.
It's those ups and downs that you get in January. But yeah, it really is a timing. Also, that front, if it arrives later in the day on Sunday, then we actually do have time to get into that peak of daytime heating versus the morning. It's tricky when you're talking about this type of very complex system. And the warmer it gets throughout the day, the less likely any chance of like freezing rain or anything would be remotely in our area.
Right. So this morning it looked like that warm front lifted far enough north to kind of send some of that warmer air into southeast Georgia, really warming us up before that moves through. So that's what I did not mention, the thought of freezing rain and ice for places like Waycross. But, now that you and I are talking here on the stream and you're diving in with a little more with us, it gets close in some models, so we're not going to rule it out. It's something that we're watching closely, but as of right now, our official forecast here at First Coast News is just rain. But we do ask you to continue to check back in because these models are going to continue to move and change as well. So just like this morning, a lot of them lifted north, which made that swath of impactful weather more widespread, covering more of these metro areas. And so that's also changed as of this morning. But
I'm trying to find the precip explainer. Let's see if I can get it up here for everybody. Just to show the different layers that we have with this. And let's see if it's here. Yeah, this is a little behind the scenes. I'm trying to find it. Oh, man, I forgot what it's even called. But anyways, I just really want to talk about like kind of the layers of an ice storm and the overall.
I think Ross showed it last night at 11 p.m. if it's in his show, if you want to look there.
All right. But if not, I think the key thing I want everybody to kind of take away from this.
I try precip and winter in your searches.
There we go. Hey, let's do that. Winter. And this is the last one I'm going to give up after this. I don't want people to think you can't find it. Let's do precip. And it is not there. Oh, no, there it is. Hooray. We found
you did get it.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Hey, how about that? We'll pull it up real quick. So we're talking about freezing rain, sleet, and snow. It's important to kind of know the difference between these three. And now it won't load. You watch that. It's just spinning here. It's like this is a heavy graphic. And so basically the surface up to the top of the atmosphere, if we have, there we go. If it's all above freezing, it's rain. The problem is when you get kind of a little, when you have rain, but then you have a little cold air intrusion right near the surface, that's where we get into that freezing rain territory. But it has to be just a little bit, because if it's more than just a little bit, our water droplets become supercooled. Supercooled is my favorite meteorological word.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
I just think of my favorite word. Anyway, go ahead.
Because super cool basically means that the temperature of the water droplet is below 32 degrees, but it's not frozen. I know, that's a little mind-blowing. But if it hits the ground that is already below freezing, it instantly freezes. And that's why you get freezing rain. The rain falls, it freezes. Versus sleet, which is a little bit thicker of that cold layer, so the water droplet actually freezes before it hits the ground. And then just snow.
It turns to ice, like it's an ice pellet.
Yeah, an ice pellet, exactly. And then snow is the crystal is frozen in the cloud, and then it falls all the way down towards the surface. There's no melting involved.
Nice little snowflake.
Exactly.
The best kind, because sleet, it's just falling ice.
It's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant, but it's not as dangerous as freezing rain. I mean, freezing rain is scary.
Which is going to be the big talking point over the next few days. And our weather watchers worldwide, as well as the 4:30 stream in the evening, and of course during our shows, that broader storm is going to be one of the big topics over the upcoming week and heading into the weekend.
You'll hear us talking about it, but of course you'll hear, nationally, almost everyone's talking about this, I think because of those big travel impacts that are expected. But this was fun, doing Weather Watchers Worldwide.
As always, though, we're going to always continue to stream here on FCN Plus.
Yep.
And, thanks for stopping by.